What's up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of the Variety Views. And I'm your host, the Variety Vendor. And yeah, I'm talking about John Wick, Chapter 2. Got to see the first John Wick not too long ago. It was mid last year. Didn't see it when it came out in cinemas, and some people told me like, "Oh, this is a really good movie." And this was around the time where um, some people thought that Keanu Reeves' career was about to die because he would come out with movies and it just didn't click with a lot of people. When I thought most of his stuff were more passion projects, were more things that he likes to do rather than some exec told him, okay, you got to do this, and then he's like, oh, okay, it's a cash grab, whatever. There were a lot of movies that he's done lately that felt like he really wanted to do stuff like Knock Knock. Which I thought was a different take on, a horror movie. Something done by Eli Roth, a very talented filmmaker that I think, he has a great eye for making something different. And also, I remember like the movie that he made lately where he played a lawyer. Can't really remember the name of that movie, but I remember him playing a lawyer, and Renee Zellweger, it was Renee Zellweger's comeback movie, and I remember John Belushi was in it. Really another great movie, but it was also something that I felt like was more of a passion project because it wasn't like a huge budgeted movie. Now he comes back in John Wick Chapter 2, which is I feel like it's different than the first John Wick. Even more different than any of his other movies because it felt like it felt like I'm trying to think of the word right now. It felt like different than any other movie that is out there right now. Any mainstream Hollywood movie, even different than any other action movie. It definitely has that Hong Kong, Korean feel of like action movies that are like not I would say like the old Jet Li movies, like Black Mask, or even some of the Korean movies like I Saw the Devil or something like that. It has that feel of it, and not just that, but also the neon lighting. It reminds me a lot of like Itchy, the Killer, stuff like that. Now the movie was directed by Chad Stahelski, who was a stunt coordinator in movies like The Crow. Read his Wikipedia page. I don't really know him from anything other than the John Wick movies and, being a stunt coordinator in The Crow, because the two John Wick movies are the only movies that he's actually, directed. And he definitely has a great eye in direction. Much like, Eli Roth, he has that, eye for giving you something different, from a different perspective rather than, the run-of-the-mill action movie. You had also, I don't think it's a spoiler, but you had a Peter Stormare, who I think he's a very underrated actor. Really loved him in Prison Break, as well as this is, some people say this movie is, since the Matrix trilogy, this is the reunion of Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne, but this is also a reunion between Keanu Reeves and Peter Stormare from, if you remember, that Constantine movie where Peter Stormare played, Lucifer, which I thought that was a great movie, actually. Some people might not like it, and some people might not like the interpretation that Keanu Reeves gave, but I thought that was a great movie. This movie, it takes the idea from the first one. The first one I thought was more of a character study. It was more about, John Wick trying to get over his past. This movie was more of him battling his past, and not just that, but him kind of getting back to his roots and just because the first movie was like he tried to walk away, while in the second one he's fighting back, he's going head on against it. And I believe that they did have an opening for a third movie. I just think that the third movie is going to be the last. I think it's going to be the ender. And you know what? If that's the case, then that's a huge note to go on, because this movie was not just like when it started, like the first 5 minutes, I was like, holy shit. 10 minutes went by, I was like, holy shit. Then after that, I was like, when is this going to calm down? Because my blood is pumping so much, to my brain, that I feel like I'm about to explode. And then when it started to go down, it felt like I was taken hostage, because it just kept me, in that uneasy feeling, because whenever you least expected, there was something that was going on. Now, I really love the cinematography in this movie. I love the music in this movie. And this is such a dying art, because when I was listening to the music, I was like, God, I miss OSTs. I miss, soundtracks in movies, soundtracks that were made for movies. I'm so sick and tired of people just using the same, recycled music. The devil's got a hold of me. The devil's got a hold. How many times have you heard this in a movie, or Gangster's Paradise, or something by Eminem, or just something that it just like, okay, we get it. We get it. You're trying to be cool. That's fine. Just have your original music. It's one of the things I really hated about movies like, Suicide Squad and War Dogs, is that they kept on using, it really, movies today is just, it feels like they're using, someone's lost iPod, and it was like, oh, this is perfect for a soundtrack. No, just like, try to create your own. Just bring in some guy like, Hans Zimmer or someone, and just let him play something beautiful for your movie. Just like, yeah, you're gonna have to, give him more than a penny, but at the same time, I think you're gonna get your money's worth. Because you got to have that music to set the mood. And I thought in this movie, the mood was set so well. If it wasn't for the action, it was the music. If it wasn't for the music, it was the characters. If it wasn't for the characters, it was the cinematography. Everything just worked. Now the dialogue, here's what I think that where the movie kind of faulted is dialogue, and I feel like some character motivations just didn't feel right. But at the same time, the movie was so perfectly, unraveling to the point where I didn't care about anything else. And I think that's the whole point in making a movie, is that you need to keep the viewer's interest. And I can't say I looked away at any second of this movie. And I give this a high recommendation. I give this an easy, very easy 9 out of 10. This was beautifully done. I also like how the subtitles just were the words were like a comic book. It really felt like here's another thing about this movie. It really felt like a comic book movie. But it wasn't, it wasn't a comic book movie. And it's one of the things I really, really love about it, is that, you can think of it as a comic book movie and it would work. You can think of it as anything else and it would work. And I even tweeted out, and I even said, like, can we just shave Keanu Reeves' head and make him Agent 47? Because I think he could definitely, I think he could definitely save that franchise. So with that being said, 9 out of 10 I give this movie. This was an amazing movie. Can't wait to see the sequel. I don't know what other movie is going to beat this one in this year, because so far this is the greatest movie of 2017. I gotta be proven wrong until then. I'm looking at the list of movies coming up, and I think there will be movies that will come close. You can think of Spider-Man: Homecoming. You can think of Thor: Ragnarok, Logan. Justice League, Wonder Woman. All these. The Fate of the Furious. All these movies, but I don't know which one is going to beat John Wick Chapter 2, because right now it's the movie on top. So rate, comment, favorite, hopefully subscribe, and until then, check out my next video where I'll be talking about something else.